Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my updated Duo deck. So this is the Duo deck with the new support that came out thanks to the supply set that I did the unboxing on. So Meer Stride unit was in there, they give you a playset of that, that's pretty cool. So I decided to revive the Meer deck because I felt like, well, she got a Stride unit, so I'm not a big fan of the Meer deck from last year. So last year she got her this Duo Eternal Sister. I feel like Meer is literally just like the Duo's take on Pacifica, just with the whole Duo's like bounce and copy type of thing to gain hand advantage. But as far as Duos go, they've always been, since they first came out, they've always been relatively good. I wouldn't say they're as good as Prisms. For a while, like back when they first came out with Red and Meer during Break Ride format, they were pretty strong. But again, like I never felt that they were any stronger than Prisms. Now they did have that silly combo, which we will get into, where they can draw a super amount of cards. But other than that, they struggle with like pressuring the opponent because they don't get a lot of critical pressure and stuff like that. So they still suffer from that, unfortunately. But for the most part, there's lots of different Duo builds that are pretty viable. There's Legion, there's Ret the Restander. There's like usually people used to mix Ret with one of the Legions. And then there's like the Meer build. And then you can also do like the classic Red and Break Ride build, which is very old now. But this one's going to feature the Meer playstyle. So for Duo Eternal Sister Meer, she is essentially kind of like a Raging Form Dragon. She's kind of like a restand, where she allows you to essentially cycle the Break Ride. So you need to run 4 of Duo Eternal Sister Meer. So she came out in the first set that introduced the Harmony keyword. And then her Break Ride form, which is her original form, which is Duo True Sister Meer. This one can be found in, I think it's Diva's Duet. So this one's Diva's Duet, EB10. This one came out right before Legion Arc, and then this one was Clan Booster 1. So this is the one from like a year ago. So anyway, these two cards work together pretty well. The Break Ride. The problem with the Break Ride is that, well, we'll get into some like trigger lineup choices later. But anyway, there's no guard restriction. There's no critical pressure. It literally just gives you 10,000 and the ability to get extra attack. And that's essentially what it does. And then the Meer Break Ride turn allows you to potentially get an extra twin drive. So it kind of makes it like kind of like the next stage play with Chrono Jet. The difference is that you don't have the triple drive on the first attack. You just have twin drive, then -3, like you drop 3 cards, then you re-ride the Break Ride as standing, and then you drop another card and she goes back to the hand to replace that card. So you can Break Ride the next turn. So it's kind of like a loop in the Break Ride system, but it's not really that much of a loop because you're kind of just breaking even every time. So it's no better than Overlord restanding, really. But 4 of all Meer cards. For grade 2, we run 4 Duo Beloved Child of the Sea, Minamo. So Minamo is a card that I kind of overlooked when she came out a year ago. But I realized that she basically replaced the 12k Duo. Because when something's bounced, you can counterblast 1 and she gains 5k, making her 14,000, and then with a 7k behind her, that's like 21. That's an easy 21k column. So she's pretty essential for duos because they need to keep up with the like the higher numbers now due to all the power creep. So that's the reason why I feel like Minamo has a pretty good place in the deck overall. But if you can't find this or whatever, I would just recommend running the 12k. It's a rare. It's relatively easy to find. It came out back with when duos debuted. Next, for Duo Creamy Caramel Cornet. So her name is a mouthful. But anyway, she's a new card that Duo's got in the Blessing of Divas, the recent release, Clan Booster 3. Basically, what she does is when she's placed on R, so she's one of those cards that you like kind of like cycle. When you place her on R, Vanguard Circle, and you have a Duo Vanguard, she becomes 11k. Then you have the option to choose up to 3 duos from your hand with the same name. Now, the clear thing to indicate here is that they do not have to be this card. It can be any other card that you have 3 of, which is typically going to be Peace. But you reveal those, and then if you reveal, she gains additional 5k. So she is also another power gainer. I kind of feel like she's their equivalent of the new Nehalem that Kagero got for Overlords, because she can get pretty good numbers on her own without a booster behind her. So she's a pretty nice card. So 4 of her, and then Minamo as well. And then Minamo has the ability of revealing 3 to unflip 1, so you can essentially like give her 5k for free if you have 3 cards with the same name in your hand. So it's kind of like a beatdown style deck. If you only want to run one of these, I would recommend probably running Cornet, because Cornet, you will bounce things quite often, and then you can call her back down. Like on main phase, you can also do that. There's Stride units that allow them to do that. So I think Cornet is a little bit more consistent than Minamo. So if you don't want to run Minamo, you can either run like some other tech choice or something. Let me know in the comments like how you guys, if you're running duos, like what lineup you're going with. But anyway, this is my grade 2 lineup, so I'm still sticking with the 3 Rika, because duos still tend to be counterblast heavy, especially if you really want to do the break ride skill plus the restand skill. Plus, also on top of that, if you have to ride Eternal Sister Meer instead of the break ride, and you have to like shove the break ride into the soul later, she could potentially blind soul charge it for you, and then on flip when she's returned, or you can later on like just do this thing's effect to put something in the soul, her main phase skill. But it's like soul blast. It's counterblast 1, soul blast 1. So I kind of want to restock the soul for this skill's reason. That's the reason why I'm running this card. So that's the grade 2 lineup. The only thing I can see changing is either don't run Minamo and run this and something else, but I'm not really exactly sure what I would replace. So let me know in the comments. The only other thing I can think of is kind of like the Legion mate for the promo Legion. I forgot her name, but it's the one that wears a black dress, whereas the grade 3 wears the white dress. But anyway, that's grade 2 lineup. For grade 1s, I am running 1 Duo Create Quill Lila and 3 Prism Duo Aria. So similar to my Legion style Bermuda decks, or my Legion decks in general, I'm sticking with the 3. And this is a Prism, this is a duo in the name, so it can still do duo stuff in the theme. And then the Lila is a new card. Originally I was actually playtesting all 4 Lila in here, but it was very YOLO, and oftentimes like I would get the double card, do that thing for her, like put the 2 of the same from the guarding circle on the bottom and then draw a card and then try to guard from there. But it was very inconsistent, and I had trouble blocking like big numbers. So then I tried making it like 2 Sentinel Perfect Guard and 2 Sentinel Quintet Wall, like 2 Lila and 2 Aria, and the cool thing about that one was more likely to go off like this and then like drop 2 of these like that, and then you could cycle these and get another card. But I didn't really like that because it was again still not defensive enough for my liking, so I bumped the Perfect Guard up to 3 and then dropped the Quintet Wall to 1. I do like this card at 1 in here. I like that Bushiroad is really trying to reinvent Quintet Wall, because I think Quintet Wall is a pretty fun style of play, and it can open up a lot of combo potential. A good example is this card. So basically what she does, when you place her from hand on the guarding circle, it's like any Quintet Wall. First you call the top 5 cards. So let's say I call like 2 of these and some random other stuff. So then if you want, like let's say I get this, then I could chain Perfect Guard if I wanted, and then take these 2, or take these 2, put them on the bottom of the deck, draw another card, so I'm not like messing up my duos. Or I could, depending on like I got like 10k shields instead, I could like send these 2 back, recycle them for later, and draw another card. So it opens up some interesting combos. I really feel like this Quintet Wall is really nice with the Duo Legion builds. So anyone running Duo Legion, I definitely recommend trying this at 1 or maybe even 2 copies. But this lineup, even in the Meer build, works really well. So I've been able to do some funny, interesting combos with it. And I really like chaining Perfect Guard off of like Quintet Wall if I have to, because it's a nice way to get around like big number attacks. If you don't have a Perfect Guard in hand, this can potentially like fish one out from the deck. So, but then there's the claim where people will be like, well, if this was a Perfect Guard anyway, then you wouldn't even need to do that. Well, the other thing is, this can also kind of like stack the deck and set it up, and it also replaces itself. So you're kind of not really like it's actually pretty good when you think about it, because you essentially one card blocks something, and then if you get doubles, and the thing is the double thing is optional. You don't have to send anything back. But if you do, you get to draw the card and replace her. So I do like that. I do actually find myself using that skill a lot. So anyway, 3 Perfect Guard and 1 Quintet Wall. Next 4-piece, self-explanatory. You have to run this card to be really good with duos, to get a huge hand. Then 3 Kazuha. Helps you search your piece cards or extra copies. And then finally, the new Majona. So she is the new Unflip engine, but she's a little bit, the thing about her is she soul blasts a lot, so I don't know, I may like take her out and put the Lulu girl back in, just for some power gain, something like that. Let me know, guys, what you're running for grade 2 and grade 1, if you're running the Meer build. For trigger lineup, it's very simple. It's 12 critical, just make sure you're running the Gracia from Samurai Warriors. And then 4 heal. One keynote on trigger lineup. I was trying this card, the one that has the Cicola or Chicola's skill, the Tangerino. So I was doing like 4 stand and 8 critical, but the problem is stand triggers really fizzle with the break ride skill, so I took them out. They may be more viable in Legion or some other build, but they don't really work well with red, and they don't really work well with the break ride mirror. So that much I know. So I took them out, but they do have a pretty potential nice effect to combo with like one of these type of cards and give it even more power, so you can hit another number. But anyway, guys, let me know what you're running for the trigger lineup. And the starter is still Dual Lover Singer Darling. I did try the new duo starter, Ichika, but I didn't like. So I tried her, but the problem with her is she cannot do the broken loop play, or not really loop play, but like the draw 3 cards for free. So like, literally like a free +2, because she goes in the soul. She goes in the soul. But I wanted to see like what she could do, but it wasn't really working out too well. So I just stuck back with Darling, because there's a lot of situations where I would prefer to bounce like 2 cards instead of just 1 card, is what she does. So anyway, guys, that's the main deck. For Stride units, it's pretty self-explanatory for me, at least. 4 Duo Absolute Sister Meer. 4 maybe a little bit overkill. I think 3 is a good number, or even like 2 may be good. But sometimes if you run 2, you may want to potentially try it a 3rd time. So I think like 3 is probably enough. So 4 might be a little bit too many. Then 4 Olivia, because I was lucky enough to pull like 2 rares, so I didn't have to hunt them down, because this rare is actually really expensive compared to a lot of the double R and triple Rs in the Blessing of Diva set. So 4 Olivia, because Olivia is really good. She can win games. She's the only way that this duo deck can gain critical pressure, and she isn't even really a duo, so it's kind of like, yeah. 1 Nectaria, because she is a duo. She's a Prism duo, but her duo effect essentially does what Kazuha does, but it's on hit, so when it hits, so I can see it being a relatively good first stride if you don't really want to do the mirror thing, but most people will just default to running mirror. So this may not even really be necessary, but I'm just showcasing it here. If you're not going to run this, I would say like run Blizza or something. 1 Amoris. She's really good because she can essentially bounce 2-piece or 1-piece and something else for free and then activate their effects, like when you stride. And then 1 Elprina. Elprina is very good. Elprina, when you have like 3-piece in hand, is super good. She essentially is like a second Darling. So yeah, just slightly weaker because she can only bounce 2 instead of up to 3. But I like that it's main phase. Soul Blast, I run 1 of each because in the event where I can save my Soul Blast for Meer or whatever, I would stride into Amoris if my field's already set up to bounce things. Otherwise, if not, then you can stride into Elprina, set up the field, then do the bounce. 1 Somni, relatively good at trying to pressure to help you get extra attack. So these are the on hits, these 2 cards here. And then 1 Leona, I'm gonna get like another one maybe in the future, but I only pulled one, so I only have one to run. And then 2 Nasha and 1 Desmil. Desmil's really good at just ensuring that a rearguard can't die on one of the opponent's turns. And then Nasha is just your standard up to like 31k block, or like your 20k shield. And then this one can also be pretty good. This is very nice because it bounces something, but then you have to call something from your hand. So it's a little bit more situational, but in most of the time, Arena Triangle decks benefit from this skill. So anyway, guys, that's my up-to-date duo deck. Right now, I'm only running one duo deck, which is this one. So let me know in the comments below what you would change in terms of grade 1, grade 2, because that's really the area. And do you also recommend stands again? If not, if so, what stand? Whether it's this one or a different one. And as always, guys, stay tuned for more Cardfight Vanguard videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.